Welcome back to Dirty 20, everyone. Today we revisit miniatures in D&D by opening up the most recent Kickstarter that's arrived at my doorstep. Let's get on with the show. Now, in the past, we've talked about using miniatures in D&D, particularly in combat, but I must admit I really like using miniatures when paired with a cool map for some exploration too. But please check out our video on minis if you haven't yet. And also, I will ask you to give this video a like, give it a subscribe if you haven't already, but let's get on with the minis. Now, one of the manufacturers that I didn't mention in that previous video on miniatures is Reaper Miniatures. And thank you to those who actually commented on Facebook and on the video to remind me about them, because they are a great manufacturer. They have an absolutely mind-boggling catalogue of miniatures for all kinds of games, and I've found that they're a really good kind of price quality miniature in that they're not too expensive, and the miniatures are pretty cool, and honestly the sculpts are getting better and better. But recently I received a Kickstarter from their Reaper Bones 5 collection, and I wanted to open the box with you guys and take a look at the minis in the particular box that I got. Oh, and stick around for the second section where we're going to build a character inspired by one of the miniatures. Okay then guys, so here we have it. The Reaper Bones 5. This was part of their latest Kickstarter, like I said, that I received. I backed this quite a while ago. It cost me about $57 and a bit, I think, you know, with shipping and everything. I only went for this box, the Fan Favorites expansion, which is just kind of their most popular miniatures from previous expansions, I think. Yeah, so it says here, a collection of miniatures based on the most requested, outrageous, or inspired suggestions from our Bones 5 Kickstarter campaign. So it's kind of like, you know, an extras box rather than the main thing, because, as you know, I have a bit of a problem with regards to buying miniatures. I buy a lot of them, and so I just wanted to get one box of this because I was quite excited by some of the stuff that I saw, and you can see straight away you have kind of the big boy Demogorgon, which we will take a look at, and you know, just overall I was kind of intrigued, some stuff that I didn't have, so I thought, you know, why not? So we can see here on the back, Fan Favorites expansion. This Reaper Fan Favorite expansion contains over 40 highly detailed Bones Black miniatures ready to paint or play with right out of the box. And Bones Black is, it's the kind of plastic that they're using. And this is kind of interesting because and you'll see the quality on them is beautiful, but they're not as fragile as resin models can be. I'm a big fan of resin models. The Carnivale models are all resin, and I absolutely love them. Same with the Rumble Slam stuff. But you know, for D&D, I kind of want very durable stuff because I'm going to be carrying it around in like boxes that might shake. You know, so basically, yes, and we're going to see one of the stars of the show as well, which you're getting a little preview. But let's have a look. Oh my lord. Oh my lord, that's a lot of plastic. Okay, wow, there's some big stuff in here. And some medium stuff. Oh, I'm liking that already. Okay, let's try and do this with some semblance of order. I'm going to move the big stuff out of the way. And we're going to start with the smaller stuff, which I can see here are kind of packed in these like bigger bags. So let's start with these. Okay then, so we've got a Cockatrice, I think that is. It's like a kind of, or an infernal chicken, which I like. I like kind of silly things that you can throw at your players, you know, starting out. That's cool. Then we've got a little, I don't know what it is. It's like a kind of mech, a little kind of, you know, like a steampunky kind of creation maybe. It looks a bit murdery, but I like it either way. Okay, this is interesting. So they've got actually a mix of kind of opaque grey, which is very common for miniatures, and some kind of clear resin. This looks like a ice mephit, maybe. They're kind of like little demons that are tied to an element. You get fire mephits and you know, all different kinds. So yeah, maybe an ice mephit. That's kind of cool. Okay, this is one of the ladies that we saw on the cover. Some kind of staff, and like I say, you know, really look at that sculpt. That's a lovely sculpt. That's really nice. Always one of the problems with plastic miniatures, resin happens as well, is they sometimes arrive bent. Now, there's a fairly easy fix, which is to get a kind of little bowl of warm, like hot, fairly hot water, not boiling, but hot water. You give this a little dunk for a couple of seconds, then you straighten out the staff or the gun, whatever it is, and then you put it in the cold water, and then pull it out, and then see what it's like. And you may have to do it 2 or 3 times, but it is fixable. I'll be honest, sometimes I'm too lazy to do it. It doesn't bother me that much, but I know plenty of people who it would bother them. I've actually kind of taken them out of the little plastic bags so we can get to them a little quicker. This is another Cockatrice, so similar to the previous one that we had. So, you know, that's kind of cool. You've also got another of those strange kind of little mechanic pigs or goblins. I'm not too sure, but funky and probably fun to use. I like this dude. This like some kind of goblin thief or something like that, with like a pack that he's stolen. You know, I'm just being discriminatory against goblins. Sorry. Then you've got this. Looks like a little devil of some sort, or demon, something from the abyss, maybe part of the Blood War. Again, I love exploring that kind of stuff, so that will be really cool. Then you've got another hero. This could be quite a cool contender to make a character for later. But yeah, it looks like a tiefling. Again, sword probably needs a little bit of straightening, but you can use that kind of hot water trick. Then we've got this wraithy looking bad guy. That'll be handy to throw at your players. Then this is kind of cool. So thus far, all of the pieces have come in one sculpt, right? You don't have to glue anything. Like they say, they're ready to paint and play with pretty much straight away. Here you've got a hero. It's like a female knight with 2 options for heads. You've got one without a helmet and one with a helmet. And you know, that's also nice. For the most part, I love that they come with these kind of like pre-made bases. with texture on them and stuff like that. I think those are really quite nice. Then we have a very cool vampire lady, which is pretty sick. I'm sure that would be very handy in a Strahd campaign, Curse of Strahd or Ravenloft. Check out the video on the latest Ravenloft book. And this is probably my favorite miniature that I saw. You might have caught it on the back. This is a swarm of chickens. And what's funny is that, you know, the more you do kind of big heroic campaigns and stuff, sometimes you kind of miss the low level stuff and the silly fun that you can have with low level stuff, like, you know, case in point, a swarm of chickens. They're going to paint up really nicely. Okay, so on to the next batch, and we've got some more imp-like characters, which is pretty cool. I mean, you've got a little swarm of them now. Then you've got, oh, another imp pointing this time, which I quite like. And then you've got what looks to me, it could either be a tabaxi, or, because I think her thumb is on the wrong side, I think she's actually a female Rakshasa, which are a kind of demon. They're pretty cool, pretty hardcore. Then you've got this thing, which is kind of awesome. It's like kind of the perfect excuse to make Rocket Raccoon into a D&D rogue character. Why not? Maybe a dagger-throwing fox of some sort. That'd be quite cool. We've got another ice mephit in the clear plastic, which is nice. Then we've got these three guys, which are kind of interesting. They could potentially be of the playable race Locath, which was in a kind of weird one-off adventure, and you basically got these kind of, you could play these fish people. So they could be something like that. They look a bit too friendly to be Sahuagin, which are one of my absolute favorite, like, bad guy character races. Then there is, again, potential candidate for a character. That could be some kind of rogue or something like that, right? Then we have one of the strangest races, or lineages, sorry, in D&D, is the Furbolg. And these are sometimes referred to as cow people. But they're kind of large creatures. They're very connected to nature. So, you know, they look kind of like shepherds. Although this one looks like a pretty, you know, tough looking ranger or something like that. Another good candidate maybe for our character. Okay, so now we're on the last of the bags with the little guys before we move on to the big guys. Now we have 3 more ice mephits, which makes it a total of 5, which, you know, again, that's a nice number. You could definitely throw that at a low party and watch them squirm. Again, cool that they're in clear plastic. It's going to make it a little bit harder to decide what to do with them paint-wise, because I want to do something. But maybe I can add some frost effects or something like that. Then there's another one of those little kind of pygmy, pig goblin mechanic things with like a large one that looks kind of like a troll, but with a really weird butt. So yeah. Again, good for comedy. Good for comedy. Then we have 2 more cockatrices, cockatrice. I'm not sure how you would say that. Along with a little halfling who has stolen an egg. And I think that that's kind of, you know, what the what the cockatrices are about, chasing after this halfling, which is great because again it creates a scenario in your head that you can translate into, you know, your campaign, a little adventure, something fun to do, you know. So I like that. I like a sense of story that comes with the miniatures. A little bit of terrain with some treasure and a little, looks like a little cockatrice egg actually. So yeah, maybe that's where the halfling got the egg from. Then a very, very cool Rakshasa, and this one is definitely a Rakshasa. You can see there his hand is the wrong way around. His thumb is in the wrong place, which is a feature of the Rakshasa. And yeah, this guy who is just amazing. This 100%, this is the guy that we're going to be making a character out of in the next section. But look at that, like a kind of snapping turtle. So obviously we're going to be making a turtle, you know, with, look at that shell. That's going to be so much fun to paint. Oh my god, yes. Yes, this and the chickens thus far are my favorite things. Okay then, so next up we have some of the bigger stuff, and we're starting off with these 4 pieces, which are some kind of like crocodile man, ogre sized, really nice sculpts. And as I mentioned before, most of these pieces come in one piece. These ones don't, but the way they've designed them, I have to say, is really, really quite nice, because it's just kind of push fit. So, you know, putting these together is just very, very much not a problem, you know, which is really, really nice. And as I say, there's 4 different sculpts, you know, and they'll make for a pretty cool combat encounter, I think. So next up we've got these 2 pieces. First up is this quite interesting, I don't know if it's an elemental or if it's like a tree that's got souls trapped in it or something like that, but definitely a cool monster to fight at some point, I think, for any party. And then we have a really, really cool sculpt. Look at this. This is a djinn, so a genie. And yeah, once again, in terms of putting it together, very, very simple. This one comes with a separate base, but again, you've got the guide holes. And if I do it correctly, boom, look at that. Lovely sculpt. One of my favorite sculpts, for sure. Okay, so now we're going with kind of the cover boy of the Reaper Bones 5 fan favorites, because we have Demogorgon, and just look at the size of this thing. This thing is huge. Like, just, you know. Can a miniature be too big? Sure, it can. But I don't think this one is. I can't work this out right now. It's just too incredible. It's too incredible. Like, look at this chicken hand of a tentacle thing, which is gonna go right in there. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, and then like a face that only a mother could love. But also, just like, look at this thing. That is crazy. Now this is going to be fun to paint. However, this is not it, mein Liebchen. Nein. There is also this behemoth of I don't even know what it is. It's like a frost giant centaur thing, which is just, again, beastly. Look at that. Look at that. Again, probably needs a little bit of redressing with the straightness, but still, the thing that I find hilarious is that, you get these tiny, well, tiny in comparison, right? Kind of tusk things, and then that huge base. So there we have it, guys. That is Reaper Bones 5 Fan Favorites expansion. Okay then, ladies and gents. So let's jump into our character building section, where I'm going to use 5th edition character creator to make myself a turtle. Now, we are using the miniature that came in the Bones 5 fans' favorite expansion, which the miniature looks absolutely amazing, and I think that the best type that we can build for that is going to be a barbarian. Now then, I'm going to go with I kind of like folk hero, right? I like the idea of someone that has a past that maybe people think of them as a hero, but actually in the end what happened wasn't that heroic. It's just kind of how things are. Now, as usual, we're going to go with our heroic array: 16, 15, 12, 11, 10, 8. So I'm going to go barbarian. So I'm going to go strength. Ooh, now, the stat bonuses that I get is +2 on strength. Yes, I'm going to go 16 strength. I'm going to go 15 constitution, 12 dex, 11 wisdom, because I get a +1. That's going to take me to 12, which means that I'll get a +1 on wisdom. And then I am once again charisma of 10, intelligence of 8. I'm dumping intelligence. Barbarians don't need to be smart. I'll be honest. It's just the fact of life. Right. Now, I do think he's scary looking, so I'm going to give him intimidation. And because he's a turtle, I'm going to give him nature. Now, ideally, in a min-maxer's world, I think athletics and perception are probably just better choices. But I'm being guided here by the miniature, the character that I feel that miniature will be, right? So we've got D12 max, obviously 12 +2 for my com bonus. Great axe, 100%. You saw what he was packing, and I'm going to take 2 hand axes. Explorer's pack, javelin, fine. Done. Okay, now for a name. Ooh, putting me on the spot. Like, my mind kind of goes straight to Ninja Turtles, but ooh, okay, yeah. All right, one of my favorite painters is Caravaggio, so I'm going to give him that name. And maybe we'll weave in something into his backstory. But oh, look at that armor class. Armor class 19. That's right. And that has to do with the turtle features. So let's take a look at that real quick. You can claw as an unarmed attack for 1d4 slashing damage. You won't run out of breath for 60 minutes. That's pretty cool. You cannot wear armor, and you gain no armor bonus from dexterity. But your base AC is 17. It says, but Wait, so you gain no armor bonus from dexterity. So why is my armor class... Interesting. Interesting. None. Oh, that's right, because I am, in fact, a barbarian. And, wait a second. Why has it gone to 20? No. Armor bonus. Con bonus. Yeah. No, that's right. Constitution +2. So that would take me from 17 to 19. And then dexterity +1. Now that might be something... Oh, interesting. Because this is the problem, right? Like, when it comes to working out a barbarian's armor class, it's base armor class plus dexterity plus constitution modifier, right? So, in my case, it would be a base of 10, right? Plus constitution 2, plus dex 1. So that would be 13, right? But I'm a turtle, and my base modifier is 17. Sorry, my base armor is 17. But I can't gain... So that should be, I believe... That should be 19 because I can't benefit from the dex. But still, 19, 20, that's disgusting. That's amazing. As an action, you can drop prone, reduce your speed to 0, and have disadvantage on dex saves to gain advantage on con and strength saves and +4 AC. Until you end this as a bonus action, you cannot take any other action. So you're literally just going into your shell. Proficiency in survival. Then folk hero feature commoners are willing to shelter you from some troubles. Again, I would talk to my DM and I would want to make it something that maybe I don't like when people recognize me or something like that. Twice a day you gain advantage on strength checks and saves, deal +2 damage on strength-based melee attacks, and resistance versus bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage. Add con modifier to AC when not wearing armor. So, yeah, armor value of 19 at level 1 is absolutely amazing. Great axe +6, 1d12 +4 damage. I mean, at level 1, this is a awesome character. But we don't just do things to level 1. So we're going to stick with Barbarian. We're going to go up to level 2. We can now have advantage versus dex save versus things you can actually see. Gain advantage on strength-based melee attacks by granting advantage to attacks against you for the round. So that's that reckless attack. And then we're going to go up again. Again, we're going to decline that. And here we're going to select an archetype. Now then, wild magic is a lot of fun. Beast, feral spirit, that's a bit more kind of werewolfy or something like that, where you kind of like turn into something. So probably not that. Totem's the one that we always go for, just because that resistance to all types of damage but psychic is amazing. But I think I'm actually going to go Ancestral Guardian. I like the idea that, you know, it's a turtle, it's very long-lived, its ancestors are a big part of how it lives its life. So yeah, I kind of like this. Your ancestors guide you and protect your allies. Okay, so we're going to apply the hit points and let's see what we get. You can rage an additional time per day, so you get one more use of rage. Instead of two, it's 3 times. And Ancestral Guardian. The first creature you hit on your turn while raging has disadvantage against targets other than you until your next turn. And those targets gain resistance versus that attack. Now that is freaking awesome. Remember, our AC is 19, and you are now basically discouraging everyone that you hit, or I should say the first creature you hit on your turn while raging, basically to not find it easy to pick at your weaker characters, your wizard, your rogue, whatever it might be, right? It's like your focus is on you, right? And that is kind of awesome. I would be tempted to potentially get a shield, because you are proficient with shields. Up that armor class to potentially 21, I think, +2 for a shield. And yeah, I mean, this is cool. Caravaggio is definitely going to get some playing time. But we're going to leave it there. We're not going to go to 4th level, as this video otherwise is going to get way too long. But hope you enjoyed that, and let us know in the comments below what you thought about Caravaggio. There we have it, lovely people. What did you think about the miniatures? Did any of them inspire you to make a character? Let us know in the comments down below. Thank you for watching, and as always, keep slaying. If you've enjoyed this content, then please smash that like button, subscribe, share this around online, and come and visit our website, www.lavictoriaproductions.com, to see all our past episodes, as well as our blog posts and all the stuff that we're currently working on at La Victoria Productions. Why not reach out to us and tell us what you think of our videos? You can reach us on Twitter. @MouthLaVictoria is our producer. We are also on Instagram. I am EnanoLVP, and our producer is Jazzy J Cherot. We're also La Victoria Productions on Facebook and LinkedIn. Come on by and let us know what you think.